Hello, Liz.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I feel like this day has been coming for years.
Oh my gosh, years. You guys, I have my business bestie, Elizabeth Henson, on the podcast. Hello, welcome to the Angie McPherson show. I'm so excited to have you here.
We got to watch out because I'll end up like reverse interviewing you. I'll be like, hey, how are you feeling right now?
That's truly how our relationship is. So today I wanted to talk to Liz, my business bestie, about having a business bestie. I feel like entrepreneurship can be so lonely. And you want this community, but if you just have one person in your corner, you're set. We have been friends. How long have we been friends, Liz? I think I looked at my calendar from when we really first met in person. I think it was December 2013.
Yeah, it was our first year in business because we both opened our doors in 2013. So we have officially been friends over a decade.
Over a decade. And my gosh, it has been a journey.
And like not even just like friends, not even acquaintances. I'm talking like besties.
Yeah, like life stuff, like business life, everything. And so, if you are running a business and you don't have somebody in your corner, like just that one person, highly, highly recommend going and finding that one person. I mean, we started off both being wedding photographers, and our businesses have changed from wedding photographers to I'm doing branding photography. You still do portrait, work when you do photography, and you also run an amazing business that we'll talk about in just a few. And we're both doing courses and memberships, things like that. Like our lives have completely transformed in the past decade, and I honestly don't know if we weren't friends, if we would be on the path.
No, I mean, I know I wouldn't be. Like my path would be completely different. I'd probably still be shooting weddings. I don't know.
Same. I mean, it's been a journey. I mean, I probably still would have been at my full-time job. Like you were really
yes, I forgot about that. Yes.
And getting me to take the leap and jump into this entrepreneurship world full time. So, if we could give some tips for people to find that business bestie. Like we found each other through the photography community, and we started, I think maybe like text or like Facebook Messenger or something. But I'm telling you, once we moved to Voxer, as our main method of communication, that is when it was like solidified. Like I highly recommend the app Voxer. It's free. It's like a walkie-talkie app. If you want to like connect with your friend or family member or spouse or whatever, and like have that voice, that tone back and forth, it's better than texting. Like you can share how you're feeling. You can listen. You can actually listen and then come back to it a couple hours later. Like, don't you think Voxer is the absolute best?
Oh my God, I don't think I could live without it, to be honest. And I mean, our friendship was literally you saying, "Hey, do you want to go like practice shooting?" Like you were so just confident and out there, and like you must have felt a vibe and you knew I was the one.
I'm big on vibes.
Yes. But like, and I was like, okay, cool. Like Angie wants to hang out with me. We just met. I was so down to just like network and hang out with people. And we just never looked back.
I know we've traveled together. We have hosted workations with other entrepreneurs. We've had amazing times together. We've both gone through crazy stuff.
We shop for each other in the beginning.
For years.
Like, there was no competition. I mean, I have like some of your brides that like still connect with me on Instagram and vice versa.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I love it. And so when you're looking for a business bestie, so a couple tips I can give is really just put yourself out there, whether it's online, going to an in-person event, putting yourself in the spaces where the type of people you want to connect with will be, and do not be afraid of competition. Can you imagine if we were both like, oh, we can't be friends because we're both photographers and we're competitors? Like, you've got to let that go, because those are the type of people who really understand what you're going through and can help you. Do you have any other tips for first finding those people? I mean, you were the community guru.
Yeah, well, you did such a good job gauging the fact that like we were both at the same place. So it wasn't like I was 5 years ahead of you and already making six figures. And you were like, hey, Liz, want to go shoot around with me? I just started my business, and it wasn't like the other way around either. So you did a really good job of like, hey, we both started our business this year. We were at the same networking event. We're kind of at the same place in our business.
Right.
There's an opportunity for us to grow together. And I think a big mistake that people make when they want to build relationships with someone in the industry is they're kind of like chasing after those big names and people that have already that are 5 or 10 steps ahead of them, when that can absolutely be a relationship. I mean, Sharon, who's one of my business BFFs, was my mentor, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I paid her 3 times and it just organically grew into a friendship. So
I love that.
There's so many different routes you can take. If you want that person that's a couple steps ahead of you, buy their programs, invest in what they're doing. And if it's meant to be, that vibe is there, then that friendship will evolve. But the best thing you can do is find someone who can I grow next to? Who's in the same, learning space as I am.
I love that. And it really doesn't even have to be, we're local. We're about less than an hour from each other. It doesn't have to be someone in your backyard. I have friends, you have friends that are in different parts of the country. I have friends that are so close that I've met on social media and we've never met in real life. We've never met, but we really pour into each other. We get together and on Zoom and we ask for feedback. And so if you feel like you're in a community where there might not be someone local to you, that you can really connect with, we are in a different world now in this age of technology.
I know, right? And even though we're only 45 minutes apart, it's we only see each other a handful of times a year,
So we might as well be across the country. There's a tunnel in between us and we're gotta cross the tunnel to go see Liz.
Oh my gosh. And you know what I was thinking about the other day? When I lost my keys at that wedding and you and it was on your side of the water. So you came to my rescue.
You're right. It was at the beach. You were shooting at the beach and you were I'm locked out. And I was I got you, girl. I'm there. I mean, we've been through some things. I was thinking about, do you remember back in the day we had, it was the 5 a.m. club or the 6 a.m. club. And it was you, me, and maybe a couple of other people. And this was when I was working full time. Yeah. And we would get up early. Do you remember this? We would get up early and check in and be I'm up. It's 5 a.m. We were let's work before the day starts. You had kids already. I don't think I had kids yet. And it was maybe 4 or 5 of us. And every morning, Monday through Friday, we would get on Facebook Messenger and just be I'm up. And it was just the accountability to say, I'm up, I'm working. This is what I said I was going to do. And knowing that people were checking on you. And that's another tip for not only finding business besties, but maintaining the relationship is finding ways to connect and hold each other accountable. I was in a space where I was working a 9 to 5, life was crazy. I think I actually did have kids or Koa by then. And I was I have no time to work. And other people in this little small group were let's get up early and let's hold each other accountable. And I thought that was just so helpful to just have that accountability partner. So
I do remember that because I think it was when I didn't have childcare. So
maybe that's it.
Right on that cusp of I had gone full time, but I think I didn't have childcare. So I was having to get up and work in the mornings to edit weddings.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I would get up.
I'd be thinking about it.
I know. I would get up, I would edit, I would blog, I would, put stuff together for emails. And it was just that accountability that other people wanted me to succeed and I wanted my friends to succeed. So finding little challenges. I like to gamify everything, finding little challenges and games that can help you to hold each other accountable and stay connected. We've traveled together. We've done a ton of different travels, a ton of different conferences, small events, big events.
Oh my gosh. And it's just, I'm my life would be totally different. We were kind of reminiscing about this. I'm really big, James Wedmore community. I'm one of his coaches. And I remember you hey, go listen to this podcast. And I can picture myself driving, listening to his podcast. This had to have been 2016 or 2017.
It was.
It was a long time ago. And then you joined BBD, his program. And I I guess I must have known, but I wasn't really paying attention. But then the live event came and you were hey, be my +1. And that one decision of following you to California. And I loved James. It wasn't I didn't know who he was, but I wasn't in the program. That one trip, completely has changed my world.
Absolutely.
Completely. For the better. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yes. I love it. And we have so many more trips ahead of us. And we need to do a spa. I'm telling you, we need to do not even a spa weekend, but a wellness weekend. Phones off, computers off, like in the wild, and just be there, be present with our thoughts. I'm really looking forward to that. Because we work hard, but we also do play hard. So
yeah,
I feel like we need to relax
balance of both, right? Like I remember recently I voxed you at like crazy time in the morning or something, and you had probably talked to me about something like serious life related the day before, and I dived right into business, and I was like, Angie, like I got to talk to you about this offer, this marketing thing, or whatever. And then I was like, oh, sorry, and good morning, by the way, like how are you? And you were like, oh
no, you don't good morning me. I am not your spouse, okay? You don't need to give me any sort of like kind greeting, okay? Yeah. Just tell me what's up. How can I help you?
No, that is what I am here for. She was like, please dive in.
I love it. Okay, tell us more about what you do, Liz, because you are the community queen, and you really pushed me to open a Facebook community for my audience. So I want to dive into what you do, and in the scope of our conversation, finding those business connections, how people can find these types of relationships in online communities.
Yeah. Okay. So I've really broken down what I do into like figuring out like what's your life's purpose, what's your superpower, and then what's your offer, right? Because when people are like, Liz, tell me about what you do. I'm like, well, yeah, I help people build communities, use community-based marketing, leverage Facebook groups, but like, that's my offer. That's how I help people. That's how I generate revenue. But like my superpower is in community and leadership, networking, connection. Yeah. But what you guys all listening know from a marketing standpoint, like we have to be able to solve a problem. Nobody rolls out of bed saying like, I need better community building skills and I need leadership skills, right? But those are my superpowers. So I had to go on this crazy journey of figuring out like, okay, I know I'm good at community building. I know I'm really great at leadership. How do I package that up into something that people want? And that's how I landed on Facebook groups, because people do say, how do I use Facebook groups for marketing? How do I get people to engage in my Facebook group? How do I make money with my Facebook group? And I'm like, I can solve all of your problems using my unique superpowers, right? So there's such a journey there. And I like to share that because I think that's really helpful for people that are stuck in this place of like, I know what I'm really good at, but like, how do I package that up? Right. And that was like part of my 10-year journey. Like it wasn't all pretty. It wasn't all fun. Thank God I had Angie in my back pocket with her marketing skills to help me.
The facts in the field. We're the facts in the field.
We are the facts in the fields, 100%. Like whenever I need to know like numbers, logical, like base decision, Angie helps me through it. Cause I'm definitely like, I feel like doing this today.
I love it. How many Facebook communities do you think you're in right now?
Oh my God. A ton. But like you guys, we have tracked my links, and my number one lead generator is my Facebook personal profile. And that is because I'm so engaged in all these groups, and I'm not in groups promoting. I'm not in groups like saying buy my stuff, but like I'm just engaging, responding to people like, oh, this person has a question about this. This person has a question about that. And we have tracked all my different links where my freebie is. And that is my number one generator. Even before I was a coach in BBD, right? Like even before I was in some of these groups, like for other reasons and just naturally getting eyes on my business. But yeah, so that, I mean, don't sleep on your personal Facebook profile and just engaging in other groups. Like, since we're talking about finding besties and building communities, like a lot of groups, like don't forget about that. Like I have mine bookmarked and categorized. Like if I have like 10 minutes in between calls, I'll just jump in like 3 or 4 of my favorite groups and just see what's going on. And it's a very underrated networking strategy.
So I love that you talk about networking. So when you're looking for people to connect with, whether it be potential clients, business besties, things like that, you know, people look at social media, LinkedIn, like you said, don't sleep on Facebook. What tips can you give if someone's looking to find and connect in a Facebook group? Where should they look? What should they be typing in to the Facebook search? You know, what type of groups, depending on, you know, who they are as a business owner. So let's just say they're like a service provider, you know, where should they connect?
Okay, so if they're a service provider and they're wanting to connect with other service providers to either like mastermind with or connect with, then find a group like even if it's a paid group, like I think about the groups that I'm in because I bought their program. Sometimes those are really high quality groups. I mean, you think about Business by Design, you think about Stu McLaren's groups, you think about, I'm sure Amy Porterfield's groups are amazing, right?
Right. So even Jasmine Star, when she had Social Curator Facebook community, oh my gosh, I made so many friends in that group. People flew me out and booked me for branding photo shoots in that group. I met so many friends in that Facebook community. You're right.
Yes. So depending on where you are in your business, if you're kind of like, where Angie and I are, and you've been doing this for a while, I would definitely recommend some of those paid communities because you're going to get slightly higher caliber community members that are going to be more likely to be at the level that you're at. If you're just starting out, there's nothing wrong with free groups. Just be mindful that if you're very serious and getting to the next level, you want to make sure you're in really good quality free groups. And then as far as like what to post or how to interact, like I just focus on helping people. Like it's not all about like what I post. It's more about what other people post. And I tell like my group facilitator students all the time, like this is more about you reading and engaging with other people than it is about you standing on the stage, just like blasting information. And that's how you make friends. That's how you build community, is by being a really great and authentic listener.
I love that. It's such a great way to connect. And I feel like you and I we have our own personal relationship, through, meeting each other, Voxer conversation, things like that. But we also are in a few of the same Facebook communities, and we're tagging each other. When someone has a question about building a community, I'm tagging you. When someone has a question about branding photography, you're tagging me. So I feel like when you do have that business bestie, you can still expand your reach in Facebook communities, on Instagram, on TikTok, LinkedIn, just really sharing each other's expertise, their work, what they've got going on. You and I have both launched different things throughout the past 10 years. Some have been super successful. Some have bombed. I was thinking, maybe I launched that wedding blog site and I paid like $6,000 for this girl to create like a mini local wedding wire.
Yes. You came over to my house and we looked up the different ways to make money on that website. But I think, gosh, like
it bombed.
Now, it's so beautiful though. It could have been very successful. You got to give yourself some credit there, but it was an entire other business entity. And I think you realize look at me like going to bat for you, right? Like this is what besties do. This is what besties do. Like you realize the amount of work, Energon Cube, right? The amount of energy and the amount of work that we're going to have to go into it to really scale something like that. Was like, ooh, is that really where I want to be spending my time? Right. So it wasn't that it wasn't successful. It was like, we're constantly auditing our time and our energy and the ROI of what we're doing. So it's like, it was a huge success. It was very beautiful, but yes, it was learning. It was a learning experience.
What was a fail? I paid $6,000 to have that site built. And I think I put my all in it for maybe like 6 to 8 months. And it just bombed so much, and I just let it go, and something expired, and the whole website expired, Liz, and I have nothing to show for it. I couldn't sell it. I let the thing expire. I paid $6,000. I let this beautiful website, because remember I was like, oh, maybe I could sell this business. Maybe I could package this up. And I don't know, just something happened, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to put this on the back burner. It expired. I have nothing to show for it. $6,000.
Oh my God. I know, right? You probably could have sold that. You really could have. Like
I know.
The website you literally had done all the bare bones. You just needed like somebody that wanted to be a professional blogger.
Yeah. I mean, so just a lesson to anyone listening and watching, look at your URLs, your expiration dates, all those things. I mean, this was like 6 to 8 years ago. So I'm in a totally different place now. I would never let that happen right now. But back then, I was so mad.
Do you want me to share one of my biggest fails?
Yes, please. Don't let me end with my fail. Let's end with yours.
It's not even, I mean, I'm sure I have plenty of investment fails, but this is more like, I had a really great offer, the Find Your Five Mastermind. It was super successful. I had 3. This was one of my first like successful like in the coaching membership course kind of space offer. It was a group coaching thing called Find Your Five Mastermind. And it was super successful. I ran 3 rounds. And because I am who I am, and I'm a manifesting generator, and I get bored and I like to do new things, I just like stopped doing it. And looking back, I'm like, oh my God, I had reached that point of like, all I need to do is learn ads. All I need to do is turn on the fire and scale. I have proof of concept. I have an offer that converts. I have something that can be scaled and lucrative. And I just got bored.
Oh no.
Please tell me, I'm like, if I would have stuck with that offer and stopped like just playing around, being my creative self, I'm like, I'd probably be making $1 million by now.
I think about the things that we did, you and I, that was way before our time. Yeah. I mean, you and I did an in-person event, Creative Connections, was it? We did an in-person event. We've done an online, like very small, like it was like a mastermind, but it was like a Facebook group where we would check in.
It was like goal setting. We had like a webinar before webinars were a thing.
Yes. And so, you know, another tip for like that business bestie is to collaborate, especially if you are very similar in like your goals and how you work, and you also have differences. Like I said, Liz and I are very different. I'm more of the facts and she's more of the feels, even though I can get some feels. Okay. I can get emotional. You see me get emotional. You know, we have like that ebb and flow. And so if you get into this business bestie relationship with someone where you can see yourself coming together and 10xing the value that you can provide individually, don't be afraid to work together. You know, put parameters around it so that you guys don't have a fallout. We've never had a fallout ever.
No, we're still working together, but we also, I think we're both very hyper aware of that line of like where our collaborations thrive on like things like this and maybe hosting a get together. But we're like, that's probably good. Like if we go much deeper, like Angie's going to want to do everything like so polished and perfect. And I'm over here with my messy success brand. Like I was like, let me look good today because I'm on Angie's show.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing your feel, because I feel like so many people live in this world of highlights that, you know, all they share is the good stuff. And you and I, you know, we've had some stuff go on. You know, we've had a lot of stuff going on in our business. We've had when we traveled to Promise Tangeman's house and I fell, and you keep making fun of me for it.
You didn't fall all the way. It was a solid trip. You caught yourself, but there was a pretty loud, like Angie's, you know, size 10 shoe hit the ground.
We went to Promise Tangeman is the owner of Go Live. It is an amazing website design company. And we flew to California to do a 2-day conference at our house where we launched our own website.
Like her home.
Her house. It was an amazing offer. And Promise is like this really cool, like high vibe chick, amazing hair, cool hat. We went to the house, we opened the door, there's like music playing. She has a videographer, you know, getting everybody coming in. Y'all, I fall walking in the daggone door. And I'm like, I royally embarrassed myself. And Liz will not let it go. She will bring it up all the time. Like, remember that time you fell at Promise's house? So let your business bestie keep you humble, okay? Let your business bestie keep you humble.
I like to do it just on your good days when you're really feeling yourself.
Like, yeah, that's great. You had a great launch, but remember when you fell at Promise's house?
Oh my gosh. Like it's going to be this or better. It's going to be falling at Promise's house or better.
Okay, so I have a game for you. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm nervous. I know games and TV shows are like your thing, so I'm nervous.
Because we're talking about besties, I'm going to quiz you on besties. And they can be celebrities, they can be cartoons, they can be characters from a TV show. So if you're listening or watching and you want to play along, just listen in and just go ahead and answer. So I'm going to give you a name and you're going to tell me this person's bestie. Okay.
Okay. The real name or the actor name, or it doesn't, we'll see.
It's in the scope of the question. So if it's a real actor, give me their actual best friend's like actor name. If it's a cartoon, give me their cartoon.
Oh boy.
Okay. So number 1, Oprah.
Gail.
Yes. Okay. Number 2, Ernie from Sesame Street.
Big Bird?
Bert.
Bert and Ernie. Oh yeah.
Let's go to a TV character. Cher from Clueless.
Gosh, what is her bestie's name? I can picture her. I don't remember her name though.
It's Dion.
Dion. Okay. Oh, Dion, that's not it. I was thinking of the other one. Okay, yeah, Dion.
Oh, you're thinking of Brittany
Not like a
Murphy.
TV entertainment buff. Oh my god, this is so humbling. This is good.
Okay, real actor now, Ben Affleck.
Matt Damon?
Yes. Okay, Woody from Toy Story.
Buzz Lightyear.
Yes. Okay, Chloe from Boy Meets World.
Topanga.
That's fun.
A romance test. Clearly, I'm better at that.
Oh my crying. Okay, Fred Flintstone.
Rubble. What's his name? Barney Rubble.
Yes. Okay. Okay, my favorite show of all time, One Tree Hill. Peyton. Who's Peyton's best friend?
Oh God.
Peyton's best friend was Brooke.
Okay, no idea. Okay.
Okay. DJ from Full House.
The neighbor.
She had that funky last name.
Yes. I want to say like Winnie something, but that's not right.
Kimmy Gibbler.
Kimmy, okay.
Okay, Lucy from I Love Lucy.
Oh gosh, I have no idea.
Ethel,
okay.
Okay, Meredith Grey from Grey's Anatomy.
Christina Yang.
Yes, you got it. Okay, Stewie from Family Guy.
No clue. That's the baby, right? Is the baby Stewie?
Yeah.
Okay, the dog?
Yeah, his best friend is the dog.
Okay. I don't remember the dog's name.
Brian.
Right.
Okay, real actress here, Tina Fey.
Oh, the other Saturday Night Live chick.
Uh-huh. You got it. You got it.
No.
Amy Poehler.
Oh, okay.
Okay, last one. All right. And there are no prizes for this, just bragging rights. Okay, you're doing great. Last one, SpongeBob SquarePants.
Patrick?
Yes.
Okay.
You did it.
Literally, like, what's the only other character that I know? This was payback for the falling stuff. She's like, what is Liz really bad at? Celebrities and entertainment.
I love it. You did great. You did great.
I have like 5 shows that I watch. That's about it.
That's so funny. If you're listening or watching, will you DM me and let me know how you did on this? I really want to know. If you got them all right, like, please let me know.
If you got them all right, you're Angie's next BFF. Like, you can't steal the work category. That is my category. She is my work wife, but
yeah,
you're her new entertainment BFF because I hold no space in that category for her. I'm like,
I'm so glad you said that. There are so many different types of like parts of your life where you can have those business besties. Like,
oh my God, yeah,
or just besties. So like business bestie, your TV watching bestie, mom bestie. Things like that. Like I love that. You can have,
I feel like through your Voxer and there was like this little sliding scale of like categories. Like I know hands down, like I would win the work category. Like that is me. Right? But then it's like someone else is going to win like the TV show celebrity category. Like, yes, that is how you really build your your community of 5 people.
I love it.
Different buckets.
I love it. We talked about finding business besties. We talked about networking with them. What can we share that has really helped us and helped your other friendships really grow in being a business bestie? Because you do want to have that relationship, but if you're not growing together, like you're missing out on so much opportunity for like personal growth, relationships, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, so we have the obvious, like shining the light on each other and sharing on social and like spreading our like actual reach. But that doesn't happen without this ability to like connect and be vulnerable and ask each other really hard questions. And I know you and I can very quickly identify when somebody is not open, right? And over the course of this 10-year friendship, like we've had to be really open with each other. Like you wouldn't be comfortable coming to me, talking to me about your numbers and your struggles if I wasn't doing the same for you. I mean, how many times has somebody crossed our paths and asked us to hang out, but like everything's always going so good for them, right? Like it's just not warm and inviting to hang out with somebody who has nothing wrong with them ever. Like you need to be able to build that trust. And that really is like step one is like, am I going to be able to open myself up enough to ask hard questions? Like I will always tell Angie, like, you're not charging enough. Let's talk about the price here. And you're like, thank goodness you did that because I just sold the program at the price that I was too, nervous to put up or whatever. And you need that person that's going to kind of advocate for who you want to become, right? Like I am always going to be the advocate for like big, successful Angie, not always like, you know, the Angie that's in her head. Like I'm always going to advocate for like the person that I know you want to become. And I only know that because of our, you know, closeness, you know?
You don't let me play small. You don't let me play small.
No. And it's like, I know that like you're looking for like tangible, like, how do I go connect and find a business bestie? But it's in the feels, right? Like the facts are we need a business bestie. We need a business bestie that's going to share us on social, that's going to have us on their podcast. Those are the facts. It's like, but the feels are like, but the how and the connection is just in being able to be a good leader and advocate for your person to be a good leader too.
Yeah. That really is a perfect example of how we are facts and feels. Cause I'm like, okay, Liz, I need advice. I need you to give me step A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. And you're like, but what type of person do you need to be in this situation? And I'm like, that's not the answer that I was looking to do it. And you're like, just really think about the mindset shift that has to happen. And I'm like, okay, let me sit in this and not be so focused on the numbers and the steps and let me really focus. And that type of energy shifts everything for me. Whereas I feel like when it comes to the facts, you come to me with the energy and I'm like, wait a minute, let me give you the steps to actually get this done. So you aren't, you know, stressing over this or wasting time to it. So we have that yin and yang with each other. And so when you're really looking for this type of relationship, just pour into those differences that you have with each other.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. I mean, absolutely. I'm always like, Angie, help me reverse engineer this goal that I have, right? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love reverse engineering anything.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
I think like, you know, in-person events and just putting yourself out there to go places like and meet people, because when you connect in person, it's completely different. I mean, even if you're in a program that you love, like how can you get more involved? Like some of my business besties have come from being involved in James's community. And, you know, it really is just putting yourself out there and like really paying attention to when somebody's energy is a good match. Like I've been put on calls with somebody completely randomly and been like leaning through the computer screen because our like energetic connection is so good.
Love that.
Paying attention to that, because that's a person that you probably would vibe with, you know, really well. And then when you don't, like, let's not make it mean anything. Let's just swipe left or whatever it is.
Girl, I was just thinking that because there are friendships. I mean, this can go in another different direction that we don't need to go into, but there are friendships that we have had even mutually 10 years ago that those friendships aren't there anymore. And there have been like side friendships where I'm like, Liz, I like this girl, but you know, there's just something off with our energy. And so you don't always, like, if you find that initial connection with someone, you don't always have to make them like a lifelong friend or a business bestie if it's going to drag you down. What do they say? Like some friendships are like a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And some people might come into your life to help you with something, or you help them with something, or do something for each other. And it's okay if that friendship kind of fizzles out, because you don't want to have that lifelong negative energy between you two.
Yes. I just did a podcast episode on like our vibrational frequencies. And I'm like so freaking grateful that, you know, you and I have survived the decade because our vibrational frequencies are like rising together. Right. Like, and that's when those relationships fall off, is like, they're not vibrating at the same frequency as us anymore. And this is not an I'm better than thing.
Absolutely not.
When I say high vibe, it's like, I mean, joyful, grateful, passionate, enthusiastic, like spending more time in those emotions than the like negative, scarcity, fear, right? Like that's all it is. It's not a better than, worse than. It's just like, oh, this person's like spending a little bit more time in this negative energy where I'm continuing to level up and like try to be as high vibe as possible every day and maintain that, because that's what feels good to me. And like, just like, thank goodness Angie has like risen with me. Like we've risen together because they drop like flies when you really start going up that scale. And again, it's not a better than, this is not a better than thing. This is an energetic, like rising tide lifts all boats, you know?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Liz, this was so fun. Thank you for joining me today. Oh my
God. No, it's not over yet.
This is so fun. I'm sure we're going to hang up and we're going to immediately start voxing each other throughout the rest of the day. So it's like
all the things that we forgot to say that we could have said.
I know. We're going to get off and I'm going to be like, oh, we should have completely went down this rabbit hole. Can you think of anything else we want to share? I want to make sure we don't want to forget anything as it relates to really connecting with somebody in your business.
Yeah, I think just continue to, like, if you don't have a business bestie, just continue the quest. Just continue being open. And it's not about forcing. It's not about like going into a room like, I will find my business bestie. It's like truly being open. And like, I just read this article about like, always focus on trying to understand the other person before focusing on being understood. Like so many people walk out on the world, they're like, I just want to feel understood. I just want to feel seen and heard and understood. But it's like, if you can flip that and try to understand the other person and that becomes your priority, then that relationship is going to just take off in a totally, different way.
I love it.
Don't force it, but be open to it. And I promise, like, I don't know what I would do without Angie, my business bestie.
Likewise, girl. Cheers to another 50, 100 years being business besties.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine what another decade will bring? I just got so excited thinking about that.
I know. Our lives have changed so much in the past 10 years. I can't even imagine the next 10 years, but I'm so ready for it. So ready to see what you put out into the world and how you help people and how your business life, everything just grows. So
I'm going to have to pull out that 2017 webinar, like snippet that I have with like my short, ugly glasses. we can put these side by side because I'm like, girl, we look good now. Like,
oh gosh. Oh man. Our Zoom calls or video calls from a decade ago compared to now, we have leveled up. Honey, we have leveled up.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I always
love. I'm going to put all of Liz's links in the show notes where you can find her on Instagram. Why don't you just share where we can find you on Instagram and your website?
It's just Elizabeth .Henson on Instagram. That's probably where I hang out with the most, although I am getting started on TikTok this year. You can find me at Elizabeth Henson on TikTok. I'm giving it a try.
And then your website is?
ElizabethHenson.co. And then if you want to join my Facebook group all about groups, you can just search the Community Builder on Facebook.
Yes. And you have an amazing freebie that I'll put in the show notes. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So it's 25 conversation starters that are guaranteed to double your engagement in just 2 weeks. So they're built for Facebook groups, but they can be used on any platform. So if you're struggling with engagement, it not only gives you 25 questions, but it teaches you how and why those types of questions are successful. So it's a great freebie. I've had the same freebie for a couple of years now. People love it.
It's a great freebie. I've used it when I was stuck trying to figure out what to say. And also because we are business besties, Liz and I are on the cover of this freebie.
We need an updated picture, but it's still a good one.
All right, Liz. Well, thank you so much. I'll talk to you in about 5 minutes on Voxer.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, friend. Thank you so much for tuning into the Angie McPherson Show. I hope this episode ignited a fire within you, motivating you to take bold and inspired action. As a gift for listening, I've created a free download of my business toolkit featuring all the essential tools and apps I use to grow my business. Just head over to angiemcpherson.com/toolkit to get your copy. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and leaving a rating or review wherever you're listening. And if you're feeling extra generous, sharing the podcast with a friend goes a long way, and I am truly grateful for your support. For any resources and links mentioned in today's episode, make sure to check out the show notes. Keep moving forward, friend, as each step takes you closer to your goals. I'll catch you next week for another episode.